Sure. Yeah, I mean, there are stories of people like Sam Kinison or even
Yes,
Roseanne Barr. They got in car accidents and then
yes.
came out completely different people.
Kinnison is a good case for that, right? I mean, he was a wild man. Am I wrong?
You're absolutely right.
And he, if I remember the story, I mean, remember this correctly. I'm not a comic, so I don't know for sure, but let me remember this. He basically could not control his own actions. But basically, even if something was in his own self interest, he couldn't not do the wrong thing, right?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that was his demise.
Right. Exactly. Right. So some people say that's self sabotage. I would say no. It's just that a part of your brain went with the immediate reward, which is not in your own self interest, but that part of the brain doesn't care about that. So it's so, and then you, whatever you are, then have to deal with the consequences of that. It's kind of unfair if you think about it.
Sure.
And like I said, so Kinnison could have made that case. Like my brain is not well, it's making bad decisions, and I have to pay for that, and I should not be held accountable. Of course, you could argue that to the people who are being victimized, right? That doesn't really matter who made the decision. Your brain, you still did it, and you have to be like prevented from doing it again, right? So there's this, and that's by the way, quite seriously, one of the areas that is called neural law, where the intersection of neuroscience and society will come probably at the fore first. That some people will claim that they didn't do it, their brain did it, and their brain is not well. So are they responsible? Should they be held accountable?
Right. That's
What do you think? What do you think?
well, it's that's tough to say because there are times where there's people who plead insanity and they're kind of insane.
Well. Let's be clear though. What the insanity plea is that you did not know right from wrong.
Sure.
And that's like, for instance, like if you were like under the influence of serious drugs, right? I don't know, PCP, or psychotic, or under some other schizophrenic spell, where you could not tell right from wrong, right? You were not living in reality. You were not in contact with reality. This is a little bit scarier. That's John Locke's idea. The idea is if you are from the 1700s, the idea is if you are in touch with reality, you will know right from wrong, and then you will do the right thing if you're properly incentivized, which makes you then responsible, which makes you culpable, but you also get the credit if you do something right. Okay, that's fine. And again, that's been dealt with the insanity defense. If you're literally not in touch with reality, then like, what do you call it? You called it, yeah, insane. Yes. So,
Sure.
so we all agree that then if you do things, if you attack me because you think I'm the devil, and then your brain tells you that, well, we all agree that that's extended circumstance, right? But
Right.
what's scary about this is that these people are in touch with reality. So Sam Kinison, for instance, would say, yes, there's a table there. I'm not hallucinating demons. I'm not thinking like I'm God or anything like that. Or maybe he did think that. But the point is that under normal circumstances, he wouldn't think any of those things. And yet he can't do the right thing, if that makes sense. So he's not insane. He's not out of touch with reality. He agrees there's a table there. He agrees there's no demons here. And yet he's doing the wrong thing. That's scary, no?
Oh, very. Yeah. And that was a good, obviously great distinction that you made because in my mind, as soon as you were talking about kind of it bleeding into law, I'm like, oh yeah, people who plead insanity, it's kind of not their fault. But now there's this middle ground of people
Right.
who are conscious and they understand they're in touch with reality, like you said, and they still go ahead and do the wrong thing.
Correct. And they just don't care. Now, I'm not saying that Kinnison was a psychopath. However, there's a condition called psychopathy
Mm.
where people literally don't care. They can't care. The reason they can't care is because probably from birth, so they were born that way, certain pieces in the brain are literally missing that process like empathy and like things like that. So social emotions like guilt and shame. So if someone has no shame and no guilt and no empathy, and then does things that are, objectively where everybody agrees that's not good for anybody, society, anybody, can they, are they guilty? If you literally like, I can't, I don't actually don't care. I'm saying I know that the baby was there, but I kicked it anyway because I just don't care because my brain
Mm.
doesn't, because I can't care. Well, like what do you? By the way, I don't feel like that. I'm just saying I'm just role playing this. So is that person then guilty?
I mean, I guess in this law is kind of one of those hard and fast. So I
Yeah,
guess in this world, it's like,
but Western law, not Eastern law, but Western law is based on the idea of responsibility. So
sure,
you can make a case from an Eastern legal tradition that it's the punishment is based on potential harm to society. It doesn't matter if you want it or not. If you harm the society, we have to like punish you. Well, let's try this. Let's say this water on your table is my water, and it belongs to me, and I'm thirsty. You're also thirsty, and you want to drink it, and you're a psychopath, so you cannot process the feeling of guilt, and you have a heightened sense of self, so you think you're going to get away with it, and you drink it, you steal it, and you drink it, and then we catch you. Are you guilty? It's my water. You knew it was my water. You're not out of touch with reality. You're not confused. You just didn't care because you can't feel guilt.
yeah, I mean, you are guilty.
You are guilty.
Sure.
Why?
In the eyes of the law.
But why?
Well, I mean, you broke the rule that we've made.
You broke the law. You broke the social contract. Okay, great. But your argument could be, I could have not done something else because my brain values the water. It does not value the social contract. That's actually what a psychopath would say if they were here. They would be like, what social contract? I didn't sign anything.
Right. Yeah.
They would not feel obligated to obey the social contract. They will do whatever they can get away with. And they feel that's the right thing. And they will feel that's the right thing to do, but their brain is telling them that that's the right thing to do. So are they guilty? And by the way, right now, you're absolutely right that the law would hold you accountable no matter what. But that's going to be something that's going to be tried soon, where someone will make that defense. Like, I didn't do it. I'm a psychopath. Look at my brain scan. I do not have these areas that would make me feel guilty. So I'm not guilty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're basing it off of responsibility, kind of how you had said, that psychopath, that person doesn't have that sense of responsibility at all.
They do not feel responsible at all, no. So in the field, we call that they know, but they don't care, or they can't care because they don't have the brain hardware. So imagine you're like colorblind, but for like moral things.
Right.
Would you punish someone who's colorblind for not being able to distinguish red and green?
Of course not. No, I'd be in trouble. I'm colorblind.
There you go. So imagine the equivalent for more morality. Why would you punish them? I mean, by the way, I'm not saying we should let psychopaths run free or run loose or encourage that. I'm just telling you that that's the argument they're going to make soon.
Right.
And you just told me that no, legally or more morally or philosophically, it makes no sense to punish them because they couldn't have done it differently because they don't distinguish in that moral dimension, just like you don't distinguish red and green.
Sure. Yeah. No.